The story continues from where we stopped. Subscribe to Mira Wealth Stories for more powerful and interesting stories. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Elaine added softly, "Love without loyalty is just a performance." Vanessa covered her face. James walked out again, this time without hesitation. Derek finally showed up 3 days later. He knocked on James's apartment door nervously. James opened it, calm but distant. "I just want to explain," Derek said. James leaned against the doorframe. "Explain why you slept with my fiancé. Or why you did it in my bed." Derek's voice cracked. "I hate myself for it." James nodded. "Good. That's not forgiveness," Derek said. "I know," James replied. "It's closure." James stepped back and closed the door. That was the last conversation they ever had. Weeks passed. James threw himself into work, but not to escape, to rebuild. He moved into a new apartment, new neighborhood, new routines. He unfollowed people who brought noise. He learned to sit with silence. One evening, his co-worker Aisha Reynolds invited him for coffee. "No pressure," she said. "Just human company." They talked about life, work, pain. Nothing romantic, just honest. James realized something important that night. Healing didn't come from replacing people. It came from reclaiming yourself. 6 months later, James stood in front of a mirror adjusting his tie. Promotion secured. Life stabilized. Peace restored. Vanessa had tried to reach out again. Apologies, regrets, memories. He never responded. Derek had moved away. James didn't ask where. He didn't need to. That night, James sat on his balcony, city lights glowing. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't broken. He was awake. Some betrayals destroy you. Others remove what was never meant to stay. And James Hill finally understood. Losing them didn't cost him his future. It protected it. James thought silence would protect him. He was wrong. One Saturday morning, while making coffee, his phone buzzed repeatedly. Messages. Missed calls. Notifications. A mutual friend, Tanya, finally texted, "James, I didn't want you to hear it like this." But Vanessa posted something. James opened social media. Vanessa had gone public. A long post. Carefully written. Tears implied, not shown. She talked about mistakes, loneliness, pressure, and regret. She never named Derek. Never mentioned betrayal clearly. The comments were divided. Some defended her. Some blamed James for being absent. Some asked questions. James felt something twist in his stomach. Not pain. Disgust. He realized something important then. People who betray you often rush to control the narrative. James didn't respond publicly. But Derek did. 3 days later, screenshots leaked. Messages. Dates. Times. The truth spilled without James lifting a finger. Vanessa and Derek had been seeing each other for months, not days. They joked about James's trips. They planned nights together. One message stood out. Vanessa, "He trusts you completely." Derek, "That's why this works." The internet turned quickly. Vanessa deleted her post. Then her account. Derek disappeared entirely. James watched from a distance, unmoved. Because public shame wasn't his goal. Peace was. Vanessa lost more than James. Her consulting clients quietly cut ties. Trust mattered in her field. Reputation mattered. Friends distanced themselves, not loudly, but intentionally. One evening, she sat alone in the house that no longer felt like home. She dialed James again. Straight to voicemail. She whispered into the phone anyway. "I didn't think it would end like this." But consequences don't ask permission. They arrive. James changed, but not in the way people expected. He didn't harden. He clarified. He started therapy, not because he was broken, but because he refused to carry damage forward. "I don't want to bleed on people who didn't cut me," he told his therapist. He reconnected with his younger cousin, mentoring him. He started volunteering once a month at a community center, quietly. No posts. No praise. Healing became private. Powerful. One afternoon, a letter arrived. Handwritten. From Derek. James stared at it for a long time before opening it. Derek didn't ask for forgiveness. He admitted everything. The envy. The resentment. The moment he crossed a line and didn't come back. "I lost a brother," Derek wrote. "And I deserved to." James folded the letter carefully. He didn't reply. But he didn't feel anger either. That surprised him most. Nearly a year later, James attended a leadership conference in Denver. At a breakout session, he sat next to a woman named Jordan Miles, sharp, confident, grounded. They talked between sessions. About books, work, life. She didn't ask about his past. She asked about his values. That felt new. They exchanged numbers, not promises, just curiosity. James saw Vanessa once more. At a grocery store. She looked thinner, tired. Their eyes met briefly. She opened her mouth, then closed it. James nodded politely, and kept walking. Later that night, he realized something had finally ended. Not the relationship. The hold. James didn't rush love. He learned patience. He learned discernment. Jordan eventually became someone important. Not because she healed him, but because she met him healed. One evening, sitting on his balcony again, James reflected. He once believed betrayal ruined lives. Now he knew better. It revealed them. Some people leave scars. Others leave lessons. And James Hill walked forward, not bitter, not broken, but better. Healing isn't proven in quiet moments. It's tested when the past knocks unexpectedly. James was preparing dinner one Thursday evening when his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. Almost. "James?" the voice asked softly. It was Vanessa. His chest tightened, but he didn't panic. "Yes," he replied calmly. I just wanted to ask if we could talk. Just once." There was no anger in her voice now. No manipulation. Just exhaustion. James exhaled slowly. "Talking won't change what happened." "I know," she said. "But I need to say something out loud. Not to fix us. To face myself." Silence stretched between them. Finally, James said, "Public place. 15 minutes." They met at a cafe downtown. Neutral ground. Vanessa arrived early. She stood when James walked in. "You don't have to," he said. She sat back down. "I destroyed something real," she began. "And I blamed everyone but myself for a long time." James listened. Not as a fiancé. Not even as an ex. As a man who had survived. "I thought love would wait for me no matter what I did," Vanessa continued. "I learned the hard way that loyalty isn't automatic." James nodded. "It's chosen. Every day." She looked up at him, eyes glassy. "You didn't deserve that." "I know," James replied gently. That was all. No forgiveness speech. No closure hug. Just truth, spoken too late. James stood. "Take care of yourself, Vanessa," she whispered. "I hope you're happy." He paused. "I am." And he meant it. That night, James reflected on who he had been before the betrayal. He used to overextend, overgive, overtrust. He confused loyalty with endurance. Now he understood balance. Love didn't mean self-erasure. Strength didn't mean silence. James's career soared, but differently this time. He turned down one promotion that demanded constant travel. He accepted another that allowed presence. For the first time, success aligned with values. His mother noticed the change. "You look lighter," Elaine said one Sunday afternoon. "I am," James smiled. "I stopped carrying things that weren't mine." News reached James through mutual circles. Derek struggled. Jobs didn't last. Relationships collapsed quickly. Trust followed him like a shadow. Not because James wished harm, but because betrayal has a long memory. Derek had tried to rebuild too fast, without accountability. James felt no satisfaction hearing it. Just confirmation. With Jordan, everything moved slower. There were boundaries, conversations, intentional silence. One evening, she asked him directly, "What did that experience teach you?" James thought carefully. "That love without character is just attraction," he said. "And trust without discernment is dangerous." Jordan nodded. "Good. I don't want to be rescued. I want to be chosen." That was when James knew. This wasn't a rebound. It was alignment. 2 years later. No rush. No spectacle. James proposed on a quiet lakeside trail at sunrise. No crowd. No cameras. Just intention. Jordan said yes, with certainty, not excitement fueled by fantasy. James felt peace settle fully into his bones. At the wedding, James stood calm. No nerves. No fear. His groomsmen were chosen carefully. Men of integrity, not convenience. As Jordan walked down the aisle, James didn't think about Vanessa. He thought about gratitude. Because betrayal had rerouted him, but never ruined him. Years later, James spoke at a men's retreat. He didn't name names. He spoke about boundaries, discernment, healing without hatred. "Betrayal doesn't define you," he said. "What you build after it does." The room was silent, listening. James Hill didn't win because others lost. He won because he chose growth over bitterness. He chose peace over revenge. He chose clarity over comfort. And when he looked back, he no longer saw the worst moment of his life. He saw the turning point.